This podcast is intended for adult audiences over the age of 18. It contains adult language and situations. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast belong solely to us, and not of any employer, organization, committee, or other group or individuals. This podcast is not intended to be taken as professional advice.
Welcome to the SwingNation podcast, a podcast by swingers for swingers, where we look to educate others and push back on the negative stigmas and misconceptions associated with our lifestyle. Come with us and share our pineapple journey as we travel the globe, interview the experts, learn and grow together. Join the nation. So Lacy, people are asking, how do they get to go to a party or an event with us?
They check out swingersociety.net, you create a profile, you sign up for an event, and you come hang out with us. It's super easy.
That's right. If you want to party with us and the other faces and names that you know from social media and TikTok, head on over to swingersociety.net.
Can't wait to see you there.
Hey there, Pineapple people, and welcome to the SwingNation podcast. We are your hosts, Northern Guy
And Southern Girl.
and today we are back with another rendition of Tuesday Talks.
We are.
Talking Tuesday.
Yep.
With Dan and Lacy.
So today's comes from a text. So we do read your text. It says, "Good morning, Dan and Lacy. I'd really love to hear your take on the stigma behind Trimix in the lifestyle. We've been in it for about a year now. Started with girl and eventually FMF and then full swap. That's when I realized eating medication was needed. Tried all the pills and they'd help a bit, but when it was my head that was interfering with the fun and it didn't always work. Talking to my urologist, he explained that pills help, but can't always overpower performance anxiety or the unsettling feeling getting to see another man please my wife. Even having an amazing woman doing her best to keep my attention couldn't keep me from thinking about them. So after falling on my face a few times, I took the leap of the shots and haven't looked back. No longer do I worry if I can't stay in the game until everyone is pleased. My question for you guys is, do some women judge guys for needing a shot to perform? Do guys think less of you for not being able to play naturally? And do most guys just own it and openly go take their shot or do it out in the open? Or is it more common to try to be discreet about it, denied it altogether? Thanks for your insight, and hopefully more people hearing this makes us more comfortable talking about it and using it if needed." And his name is, this is Bent, B-E-N-T.
Does that mean his dick is bent?
I don't know.
Well, okay. Well, thank you, Bent, for your question.
Well, he added a little second part to it. Can I read that too?
Sure.
It says, "I know Dan prefers voicemails, but it's easier to type it out and edits reads well and get the point across. I know several guy friends of mine have different comfort levels discussing this topic. So if there's a good number of listeners that would appreciate this one, everyone always talks about pills, but never when the pills don't cut it. And I'm all for anything that helps keep my wife satisfied and not feeling like she's the reason some guy couldn't get or stay hard."
Okay. So this is a question from Bent.
Yes.
And this is what he references to as the shot.
Yes.
So there might be some people listening to us that don't know what he's talking about. What is this shot that he's talking about?
It's a dick shot. It's called Trimix, and it's actually becoming more and more popular. It used to be a lot more popular in like the porn, like when we made content and stuff like that for our OnlyFans. We saw a lot of guys doing it, but I would say in the last 6 months to a year, a lot of guys are using this just in like swinging play time. Like it's not just for like making content. And it is literally a needle. You insert it into your penis and you put the medicine in and the dick gets hard. I don't know the science. Did you look it up?
I did do a little research. So the dick shot he's talking about is called Trimix, and it's Trimix, and it's a prescription medication used to treat ED. It's a compound injectable drug that contains 3 active ingredients: I'm not even going to try to say these 3 ingredients, and that's why it's called Trimix, is because there's 3 ingredients, and it's actually like a compound drug.
I always say it wrong. I say Trimix.
And you inject it directly into your penis before sexual activity. It works by relaxing blood vessels and allowing for increase in blood flow, stronger, longer lasting. And part of what it says here is you don't need mental stimulation to get it. Basically, you shoot this into your dick and your dick gets hard. There's not really any, you have to be turned on or aroused.
Well, and
it's pretty quick. I think it takes like 5 minutes as opposed to.
And like scrolling TikTok, I actually saw, and we were kind of talking about this not long ago, that someone who had been in a car crash and was now handicapped. That's like it was a young guy. He was in his 20s, and this is what he used because he was married, and you know, he wanted to have a relationship with his partner, and so it's used for other things than just our guys at swinger parties or porn stars or stuff like that. It's a real thing. And it's crazy that this guy asked this question because you and I have been having a conversation about trying to find a doctor, someone who has a lot more knowledge than we do to come on and talk about this. For this question, we can totally answer this, but I do think we should try to find someone to
dive a little deeper.
Yeah, I think it's definitely becoming a thing in the lifestyle and worth having an open discussion about, for sure.
Okay. So if you say the dick shot or you say Trimix, or if you hear about somebody putting a needle injection into their penis to get hard, that's what they were referring to. And like Lacy said, and it's something I don't think, even when we talk about ED and we say ED is completely normal for performance anxiety, which I think most of the time is what ED is related to in the lifestyle, is more performance anxiety, meaning it's a little stressful to be in these public settings and having sex with people sometimes you don't know that well, and there's a bunch of people in the room, or and things like that, and
you're stopping and starting, and condoms and cleaning and all the things.
So, and what we usually say is go get yourself some medication, right? And we're talking about like Viagra and Cialis and stuff like that. But it is true that those pills often don't cut it for some people.
Yeah.
Right. So we have several friends. We know several people that have tried.
Yeah, lots of people.
Viagra and things like that. And it just has not quite been enough to subside their performance anxiety. Right. And so they still struggle. And Trimix has been a godsend for a lot of people in overcoming this issue. It's hard to be in the if you can't participate, if you can't maintain an erection, it's hard to be in the lifestyle. It kind of can ruin this whole experience for you, right? And we want, there's several people that want to do this. They want to, be in group playrooms, and they want to be fucking their wife, and they want to have a good time. But just getting over that hurdle of performance anxiety has been the downfall for many couples, and being able to enjoy this lifestyle. And so we know several people where Trimix has really solved that problem. And so it's a drug I highly recommend. If you have tried, I would try the pills first. And if they don't work for you and you think you need something more, seeking out Trimix and getting a prescription for that, I think will solve your problems at that point.
We do not suggest that you take some of your buddy's medication. We've heard horror stories from multiple people of people causing permanent damage to themselves for not taking the proper dose or not having the antidote to reverse it. So if this is something that you're interested in, we just highly suggest that you seek professional help, like professional doctor to help you get everything right.
Yeah. And I think that's why I would suggest try Viagra and the others first, because Trimix is a very serious drug, right? You're going to, you need a needle. You have to inject it. So there's all the safety concerns that come with that. Sometimes, people will bleed a little bit after they insert the needle. Obviously, having intercourse when there's blood present is a whole new risk, right? So that's not necessarily the best. So you have to be careful that, once you do inject it, that you make sure that if there is bleeding, it stops and all that before you have any, intercourse, or at least that you have a condom or something on to protect from that. Another thing is you'll get a hard on, and it's very common that that hard on will stay for hours and hours and hours. And when you get the medication, they will give you a reversal drug, right? So there's another drug that you can inject that will make the dick no longer hard. Now, in party settings, right, where you're staying up late and you're fucking, And sometimes there's alcohol used. Sometimes there's recreational drugs used. You do not want to pass out with a hard-on, not use the reversal, because if you have a hard-on for longer than 4 hours, like all these commercials say, you can start to cause permanent nerve damage to your penis. And if you cause too much permanent nerve damage to your penis, you might never be able to get a hard-on naturally again.
Yeah.
And we know, we've met people have had that happen, and they've had that happen by using this drug, but they will admit to you that they used it inappropriately, right?
Yeah.
They got the drug from their buddy. They didn't have the reversal. They probably drank too much and then passed out. And then they had this issue happen to them. So Trimix is a great drug. It can be used to really cure ED and make it so that people that have problems performing in these settings are able to do so. But you have to be very cautious and take this drug seriously if it's something you're going to use.
Yes. So that was our pre to the answers to the questions. So let's get into his actual question. My question for you guys is, do some women judge guys for needing a shot to perform? So I guess that's me. I personally do not. But I'm also educated on the shot and what it does. If you would have asked me a couple of years ago, I might have somewhat been like, well, why am I not enough? But as I've been in the lifestyle for long enough now, I've educated myself and realized that it's not me. Some guys just really struggle with that, even though they're extremely turned on and really want you. I know that. So that would be my answer. Not normally. I don't think you're going to find a lot of women that are super turned off by that.
I think most women just want, if it's somebody that you're engaging with and you want to have sex with, they're just going to be happy your dick's hard.
Yeah.
What process you had to go to to get your dick to get hard, I don't think is of concern for most women.
Correct.
They just want to engage with you and your hard penis.
Yes. For sure.
And so I don't think too many women are going to be overly judging. Now, like Lacy said, if somebody that's new to the lifestyle, have never experienced this, maybe it's a little shot to their ego. If you're like,
maybe.
oh, hey, I need to go take a shot.
But it's
real quick.
also worse to me, it's worse when the dick doesn't get hard. And then it becomes an issue and they're jerking off in the corner and the wife's getting railed. And, I would rather them just take the shot. Let's just move on.
Yeah. I think in 90% of the cases, if you need the shot, you taking it is the best case scenario. Correct. As opposed to not being able to get hard. Yeah.
So the next question is for you, Dan. Do most guys just do guys think less of you for not being able to play naturally?
No, I don't think so. I mean, again, we can't answer for everybody.
Yeah.
But I think if you've been in this lifestyle for a while, you know how much of an issue maintaining an erection can be in these settings. And again, I think every guy who has been in the lifestyle for a while has experienced it personally. And again, if we're engaging with you as a couple, I don't care what you need to do to get hard, as long as you do that. And I've never taken Trimix myself, but it's something that I've seriously considered, more so for content, because that can be a little, when there's cameras and stuff, that's a little more awkward for me than lifestyle settings. But even lifestyle settings, sometimes when you go to engage at 2-3 o'clock in the morning and you're tired and you kind of run down and maybe you've had a couple, drinks, most of the time ED medication is enough for me. But there has been times that even with ED medication, I've struggled. So, something like the shot, I think, my opinion is I'm going to be there eventually. Yeah. I think as I get older and, my blood flow
and we've had this
decreases.
We've had this conversation about you getting it just as like a backup, if something was to happen. Okay. Do most guys just own it and openly go take their shot, or do it out in the open, or is it more common to try and be discreet about it or hide and deny it? I've seen all of the above. I've seen people that we're super comfortable with just whip it out and the wife gives the shot right there and it's not a big deal. I've seen people, they excuse themselves. They say, hey, we're going to do a shot. We'll be back in 2 minutes. They'll step out, go into their room or, in the bathroom or wherever. Then we've also seen I remember the first time we made content with someone that used the shot. He went in the bathroom, shut the door and didn't even tell us what he was doing. He just walked out with a a hard dick. And we were like, how did that happen? So we asked, and he told us. Do you think people use it and just don't tell us? Probably.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
It is kind of obvious though.
Yeah.
So guys that take Trimix, basically they take the shot and then within a few minutes they're hard. And then they're basically hard the entire time you're engaging.
Yeah.
Right. Which is not normal.
Yeah.
I could say. So if somebody it's like, hey, we're going to run by the room and get some stuff and then we'll meet you in your room. And then they walk through the door and the guy's got a hard on. He's probably on Trimix.
Yeah, I agree. It's for me, I mean, we might have different opinions here, Dan and I, but for me, I'm okay with you owning it. I would rather know up front than me like wonder, or we leave the room and we're like, that guy was totally on Trimix. I'd rather you just be honest. And especially our friends that we know that they're all on it and we've been around them. I have no issues with them doing it like right in front of me. I mean, most of the time I'm not even paying attention to them. I'm getting myself, I rinsing off, I'm changing, I'm kind of tending to myself. So it's not a big deal. But I think in the lifestyle, I think just being open and honest and communicating, I think is always better than being a little bit, like closed off. And it's nothing to be ashamed of.
It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Guys are not ashamed when they take Viagra. I don't think you should be ashamed when you do a dick shot. What do you think, Dan?
I agree. It's hard for me because we've been doing this for, I've been in the lifestyle for 8 years now and I've been taking Viagra for, I don't know, probably 5 of those 8 years. So to me, it's not a big deal at this point. Now, I will say early on, and you even know this, when I first went and got a prescription, it was awkward to me. I didn't want to do it. I felt bad about it. You know what I mean?
And I can see like if someone it's like your first time giving yourself the shot, or you've only, like maybe you and your wife have only done it a few times and you want to step away and do it in privacy and make sure you're doing it right. Like, I think that's totally fine.
But I think that's an insecurity within yourself. I think, again, people that have been in the lifestyle for a while, they know that performance anxiety is a thing. Most of the time, they've probably either experienced it themselves, or if they're, a female like Lacy, they've had somebody that has experienced it with them. So at the end of the day, we all just want to have fun and have a good time. And so whatever you need to do to ensure that you're able to do that, I think is completely acceptable.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think you should share your medicine. That's just me being on it.
I agree. So
we've heard horror stories.
The biggest thing about Trimix is go get your own prescription and have the reversal, right? And if you're drinking, be careful because, you have to make sure you give yourself the right amount, not too much. You have to take your reversals, before you go to bed at night, make sure your penis is no longer hard. That's what really matters with this stuff. So take it seriously. It's, any medication is serious, but this one is real serious. Yeah.
Cause dicks are important to the guys, and they're also important to us. So we don't want to fuck with that.
We don't want to fuck that up.
No, we've had friends had to fly home from Mexico to get to a doctor because there was no doctor that, would take them seriously in Mexico. We've had people have to have their penises drained in the emergency room. We've met people that have implants because of it. So it's
not a joke. It's not a joke. Yeah, it's serious stuff.
Yeah.
But I hope that answers your question. Definitely, I'm 100% a supporter of the injectable medications. If that's something you need, just please be careful with it.
Yes, I agree.
All right. That's it for today's Tuesday Talk. But we would love to hear from you. We need some Tuesday Talk. So give us a phone call if you've been thinking about calling us and you haven't done it yet and you have a Tuesday Talk question. Please give us a call. And that number is
972-302-7716.
One more time.
972-302-7716.
And you can call or you can text that number, or if you don't want to do either one of those things, you can email us at TheSwingNation@gmail.com.
Yes.
TheSwingNation@gmail.com.
Agreed.
All right. I think that's it for this week in a world full of apples.
Be the pineapple.
Be a pineapple, guys.
Bye. Oh, I did it wrong.
You did.
Okay, do it again.
You just totally caught me off guard.
In a world full of apples. Do it.
Okay. And that's all for this week in a world full of apples.
Be a pineapple.
Be a pineapple, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
If you've enjoyed our podcast and want to support us, leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening. If you want to see more of our content, you can find links to Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans, and more in the show notes. Come join the conversation with us and other swinger content creators on our Swinger Society Discord server. If you have questions or feedback, email them to us at TheSwingNation@gmail.com. Make sure you head on over to TheSwingNation.net and keep up to date on all things Swing Nation. We thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.